Welcome back to Big Mouth. Remember, you can be part of this channel, part of the episodes, part of the shows, and all you have to do is tag me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Ask me anything about your favourite TV show or movies or movie franchises, anything. I will read them out here on the channel and give you a shout out too. Free of charge. You don't have to become a member of anything. It's just us. Fellow geeks and nerds, fans of stuff, just talking. So yes, I have seen The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1. This has to be, The Mandalorian has to be the best entrance into the Star Wars franchise since Revenge of the Sith. And it's interesting that this show continues just after The Return of the Jedi and goes nowhere near the sequel trilogy. It's interesting, isn't it? The sequel trilogy is Star Wars version of Star Trek Discovery, which is very polarizing and triggering to a lot of fans. But The Mandalorian is made in a very different style. It's shot like George shot the movies. It's just totally, purely Star Wars. And pure is the word. It's such a pure attempt by Jon Favreau. So let's talk about the episode. Spoilers, of course. So if you haven't seen the episode, go over to Disney Plus and watch it now if you can. Yeah, brilliant episode. We don't really get much of Baby Yoda. He's there. He doesn't use his powers. But in this episode, we go back to Tatooine, which is awesome. They name drop Mos Eisley. But we go to another place that's kind of disappeared off the map. Since the Death Star was destroyed, the second Death Star. And that's what they say. They name drop the second Death Star. And we meet this guy on Tatooine wearing a Mandalorian outfit, the armor. And of course, our Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, right? Mando, as they call him, wants it back. Now, this guy doesn't want to give it away because literally this little place, he's protecting it. And he actually explains what happened to him after the war and how these mine traders, or whatever you want to call them, took over. He walked the desert, literally of Tatooine. He was saved by the Jabbas. Great to see the Jabbas again. I love the Jabbas, by the way. And they gave him this armor that they'd obviously found, and he went back to protect this town. And so we meet this guy, and this guy is he's a bit rebellious. He's a bit of a Han Solo, if you like. But what happens is Mando's about to kill him, but then the whole place starts tremoring. And then we discover that this kind of really long, shark-looking creature is making these people's lives a misery. So Mando decides to help. But to defeat this creature, they need to unite with the Sand People. And obviously the Sand People are creatures and very difficult to kind of come to an agreement. But Mando can speak their language. And so they come to an agreement. Listen, I think it's a very interesting episode in terms of the creature. Don't forget, this is not an evil creature. This is a creature surviving on his or hers or its instinct to survive by eating the Sand People, by eating ordinary people. Even what are those bloody creatures that the Sand People ride? It's on the back of my... Anyway, comment down below, let me know. But yeah, I want to talk about this because I think it's quite interesting. So you've got this creature that ultimately, spoilers of course, they do kill. Now actually, before I talk about the morals of killing the monster, the creature, I want to talk about how they did this. Because when they got to that kind of third act and they were about to blow him up, I thought, this is a bit too easy. But Jon Favreau was way ahead of us, and me especially, and it's hard to be way ahead of me, because believe you me, as a writer, I'm thinking like a writer when I'm watching any film or TV show. So what he does is that explosion actually doesn't work. He's still alive. And then ultimately, Mando actually has to go inside of him using, what is it, the Banthas? Is it the Banthas they call them? I don't know. Let's call them the Banthas. The Bantha has explosives on him. So basically what Mando has to do is trick the creature into swallowing the bantha so then he can use the detonator to kill the creature, which he does. I really like the way that John actually structured this narratively, because what that means is when he does die, the creature, it's not too easy. They really had to fight to kill and destroy this creature. I thought it was a really good season premiere, by the way. The Mandalorian is just a relaxing watch. I wouldn't say it's compelling. It's not compelling as Star Wars, but it's so relaxing and it reminds you of your childhood, and there's no characters that piss you off. And this is a journey of this, the lone crusader, the man with no name. All he wants to do is reunite Baby Yoda with his people. But does Baby Yoda have people? Again, comment down below. I love Star Wars. I'm obsessed with Star Wars, but I don't know everything. So again, inform me so I can be more informed when I do these videos. So can he reunite him? Is Baby Yoda actually Yoda reincarnated? Because don't forget, in Return of the Jedi, Yoda dies. So what happens after that? These are interesting questions the show ultimately in seasons ahead will have to answer. Yeah, now I want to talk about the morality of killing this creature. This creature just wanted to survive. It just needed food. Then it went to sleep. But the needs of the many, of course, using a Star Trek phrase, outweigh the needs of the few. Ultimately, this creature has to die, or he's just going to keep on killing and making these people's lives a misery. But I did think about it as I was watching it. Is it right that they killed this creature? Ultimately, Mando and the people of this little town, village, whatever you want to call it, have no choice. Of course, they're celebrating because they know they're safe. It's important to understand that. They're not celebrating because they've killed a life form. No. They're celebrating basically because they're safe now. And that is really important to understand. I would give this episode 9.5 out of 10. I thought it was a really, really good episode. But look, if you really haven't seen this episode, you really need to go now, because we have to discuss the fucking reveal right at the end there, I'm assuming, of Boba Fett. That's Boba Fett, right? That has to be Boba Fett. It has to be. So Boba Fett was killed, apparently, in Return of the Jedi. He went down in that pit, right? Am I right? Again, comment down below. I need your help. As I said, I don't know everything. I just happen to like watching Star Wars, right? Well, the prequels and Lucas's original trilogy. We don't need to go on about the sequel trilogy. I don't think it's the most horrible thing in the world. It was just watered down and underwhelming, unfortunately. Don't need to discuss that right now. But basically, you don't get 3 different directors to do a sequel trilogy, a trilogy of something. You need one mind to be working on it with one vision. Right, anyway. And so, yes, Boba Fett seems to be alive. Of course, it may not be Boba Fett. I mean, they're using that actor they used in the prequels, right? But he could just be a clone. But I think he has to be Boba Fett. What do you think? What do you think? Again, comment down below. Do you think, right, that it's Boba Fett or actually an escaped clone survivor? It'll be very interesting. And what I think is very interesting, Boba Fett surely will know the child or will recognize the species of the child. And even the identical situation, he looks like Yoda, but he looks like a baby version of Yoda, right? And so I think when they come face to face, and I don't think it will be till the second part of The Mandalorian season 2, but I didn't expect that. I was thoroughly enjoying the episode. I thought it was great. I had no issues with the episode whatsoever. Then we get the reveal of potentially Boba Fett. So not only was it an amazing episode, but we had an amazing climax. 9.5, 10 out of 10. I want your thoughts on the episode as well. Give me your ratings for the episode. Give me your mini reviews down at the bottom. And if you do, right, I'll read them out next time I do a Star Wars video or a Mandalorian video. Or give me your thoughts on Twitter, @MoviesTVMad. I just want to know what you all thought about it so we can have a little discussion. But I loved it. I've loved The Mandalorian from day one. And this really does look like now that Lucasfilm understand that Star Wars cannot survive. Star Wars cannot have a future with Lucasfilm going against the fans' grain. It must be Star Wars. You don't have to give us what we want all the time. But what you must do is be loyal to George's vision. You can have your own ideas, like the Mandalorian. The idea is very different to anything that George has done. And that's fine. But we're not interested in your ideology or your political agendas. All we're interested in is great stories, great performances, great directing, great visuals. That, my friends, is what Star Wars has always been about. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back later with more videos. See you again soon.